Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into one of the most significant and controversial developments in international affairs right now. The United States launching airstrikes against Islamic State militants in northwest Nigeria on Christmas Day, no less, with President Trump directly tying this action to what he describes as the vicious persecution and slaughter of innocent Christians by these Islamist extremists. And it's hard not to feel the weight of this moment, because for years now, reports have been coming out of Nigeria about brutal attacks on Christian communities, churches being burned, villages raided, and families torn apart by groups affiliated with ISIS and Boko Haram. And Trump has been vocal about this for weeks, even months leading up to this strike. He posted warnings saying that if the killings didn't stop, there would be hell to pay. And on December 25th, he announced that at his direction, the U.S. military executed powerful and deadly strikes targeting ISIS scum in northwest Nigeria, who he said have been targeting primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years. Let's step back a bit to understand how we got here. Nigeria is a country almost evenly split between Muslims in the north and Christians in the south, and it's been grappling with insecurity for over a decade, starting with Boko Haram, that infamous group that kidnapped hundreds of schoolgirls back in 2014 and pledged allegiance to ISIS, forming what became known as Islamic State West Africa Province, or ISWAP. These groups have carried out relentless attacks, killing tens of thousands, displacing millions, and often framing their violence in religious terms, especially against Christians who they see as infidels. But here's where it gets complicated, because while Christians have undeniably suffered horrific targeted violence, with churches attacked during services and entire communities wiped out, experts and even the Nigerian government point out that Muslims have also been victims in large numbers. These extremists don't spare fellow Muslims they deem not radical enough or who cooperate with the government. There have been mosque bombings, assassinations of Muslim leaders, and clashes that kill indiscriminately. And then there's the farmer-herder conflicts in the Middle Belt, where Fulani huntsmen, many of them armed and some radicalized, clash with Christian farmers over land and resources, leading to cycles of revenge and more bloodshed. So the situation is a messy mix of religious extremism, ethnic tensions, economic desperation, and plain banditry. But Trump has framed it starkly as an existential threat to Christianity in Nigeria. And back in late October, he started ramping up the rhetoric, calling Nigeria a country of particular concern, threatening to cut aid and even ordering the Pentagon to prepare for possible military action. He said radical Islamists are responsible for mass slaughter, and that the Nigerian government wasn't doing enough to protect its Christian population. This built tension with Nigerian officials pushing back, saying that portraying it solely as persecution of Christians oversimplifies a complex security crisis and ignores their efforts to fight terrorism. But quietly behind the scenes, cooperation seems to have happened, because reports confirm these airstrikes were conducted at the request of the Nigerian government, with intelligence sharing and coordination leading to precision hits on terrorist targets in places like Sokoto State in the northwest, where ISIS affiliates have gained ground. And just think about the timing, Christmas Day, a day of peace and celebration for Christians worldwide, and yet in Nigeria, even on that day, violence looms, with reports of suicide bombings in the northeast targeting mosques and reminders that extremists spares no one. Trump called it a Merry Christmas message to Christians in Nigeria, knowing that America will fight for them, and supporters like Senator Tom Cotton praised the strikes against bloodthirsty ISIS savages, while critics worry about escalation or unintended consequences, like civilian casualties, though official statements emphasize precision. Now looking at the hidden angles here, this isn't just about religion, it's also geopolitics. Trump has been striking ISIS remnants in other places like Syria and Yemen, showing a willingness to use force against non-state threats. And this fits his narrative of protecting religious minorities, especially Christians abroad, something that resonates with his base and the religious right in America who have long highlighted Nigeria as a hotspot for Christian persecution. Organizations tracking this say thousands of Christians have been killed in recent years, churches destroyed, and communities displaced, creating a humanitarian crisis. But globally there's debate, because framing it purely as anti-Christian genocide might fuel recruitment for the extremists, or strain relations with Muslim-majority allies who see it as biased. And on the Nigerian side, President Tinubu has called for peace between religious groups while beefing up military efforts, but insecurity persists, with bandits, kidnappings, and insurgent attacks continuing. What does this mean going forward? These strikes could degrade ISIS capabilities in the region, disrupt their operations, and send a strong signal that targeting Christians or any civilians won't go unanswered. It might encourage more international cooperation, perhaps from regional partners or even broader counterterrorism support. But there's risk too, if the extremists retaliate with more attacks, or if this pulls the U.S. deeper into Africa's conflicts, something Trump campaigned against with his America First approach, avoiding endless wars. Yet here we are with direct military action. And looking ahead, if the violence doesn't subside, Trump has hinted at more to come, while Nigeria works to stabilize its north and address root causes like poverty, government's failures, and climate-driven resource conflicts. Real peace will require not just bombs, but development, dialogue, and justice for all victims, regardless of faith. This strike on Christmas Day marks a turning point, a bold assertion that the U.S. won't stand by amid what some call egregious anti-Christian violence, but it also underscores how fragile and divided the world remains when religion becomes a weapon. Ultimately, this is a story of human suffering, resilience, and the complicated quest for security in a nation rich in diversity, but plagued by division. And I think it's a reminder that while military action can hit targets, the deeper solutions lie in building bridges, protecting freedoms for everyone, and confronting extremism wherever it rears its head. Thanks for joining me in this analysis. If this moved you or made you think, share your thoughts below and let's keep the conversation going. Stay informed, stay compassionate, and I'll see you in the next one.